Social Studies 9. How the heck are you? Hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, trying to keep up on stuff. I'm sure you noticed I tried to reorganize the Google Classroom to try and make it a little easier for you guys to follow along kind of day by day, just little bits and pieces every single day. Again, if you have any other questions or concerns about something, just please make sure you bring it up with me, right? Don't let yourself fall too far behind. Today, we're going to keep talking about the Youth Criminal Justice Act. We talked about it yesterday, about what it is and how it affects your life. And then you had a little bit of worksheet today about what it is. And today we're going to kind of keep moving on that and talk about how other parts of society, juries, justice advocacy groups, how those are affected by the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Okay, so we're basically going to finish chapter 2 today in terms of like the material, but we're going to keep talking about it next week when we talk about like source analysis and persuasive writing and things like that, like how Youth Criminal Justice Act is a really great place to start with that. So we're going to analyze a lot of sources when it comes to youth. Okay. Notice I wore the hat today, trying to take the shine off the forehead for you, trying to make it a little bit easier, trying to make myself feel a little better about myself when I see myself on YouTube. Quick reminder, you'll have another assignment tomorrow, and then on Thursday at 1 o'clock, we'll have a Google Meet. If you guys want to jump in there and talk about some things, ask me some questions. We're going to have a little discussion about why justice is always perceived to be blind, which I mentioned to you. So try and make sure you're there Thursday at 1 o'clock, okay? So let's get started. Boom. So, like I said, we're going to talk about the Youth Criminal Justice Act, and specifically what role do citizens and organizations play in how fair and equitable Canada's youth system is. So first off, as you know, anytime that you break the law and you have to go to court, there's going to be a judge and there's going to be a jury, okay? Under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, anyone under the age of 14 may choose to be tried by a judge and jury for certain serious crimes. It's got to be pretty serious for you to have a judge and jury if you're under age of 14. Juries may have 12 people. All 12 people on the jury must agree on a verdict. Anyone 18 and older and is a Canadian citizen is eligible for jury duty, and there are some exceptions. All right. So, what do you think some exceptions might be for jury duty? Think about that for a second, and again, we'll come back to it. Jury duty is considered a duty of all Canadian citizens. If you're summoned to be on a jury, you have to make any and all arrangements to be at the courthouse. Your employers have to give you time off. And the only way you can get out of it is if you're excused, if you can prove it's going to cause you hardship. Okay? Now, let's go back to that. Whoa. Now, with the jury, there are some other responsibilities that you have to know. There is a video on the Google that I put on the Google Classroom. It's a little 11-minute video on like a mock jury and a mock trial. So give that a look. It's important to remember the jury does not have to come to a verdict that judge or members of the public must agree with. They have to remain impartial. Jury selection is a very important part of the justice process. Both sides of the case must agree who's going to be on a jury. So again, just because you're summoned to be part of a jury doesn't mean you will stay on the jury, right? So like we talked about in the last slide, what might be some exceptions for being on jury duty? One of them might be maybe you're just a straight up racist. Maybe you have biases. And if those come out in the jury process, then you will not allowed to be part of the jury, okay? Best example of jury not come to a verdict that the judge and members of the public would agree with would be a very famous one. It's probably beyond your time. It was called the O.J. Simpson trial. O.J. Simpson was a famous football player, and then he was a famous movie star, and he got accused of killing his wife and his wife's boyfriend, and he got off. For whatever reason, we're not going to go into it. Maybe he didn't do it. I don't know. But the jury found him not guilty, but the public, general Joe public, just couldn't believe that he got off, and there were riots and everything about it. But again, if the evidence isn't there, then the evidence isn't there, right? So whether you agree or disagree, sometimes it doesn't matter. Now, working in part, so regular citizens and how they work in conjunction with Youth Criminal Justice Act is something called the Justice Advocacy Group. These are organizations that work independent from the government. They try to solve the underlying reasons for crime. So why does crime exist and how can we solve that? Instead of punishing people for breaking the law, how can we fix the reasons they are breaking the law? So they provide public education about the Youth Criminal Justice Act and Criminal Code of Canada. They help people who have broken the law return to the communities, and they stand up for the rights of youths and adults accused of crimes. The two ones that we're going to focus on here is something called the John Howard Society and the Elizabeth Fry Society. There's a worksheet on the Google Classroom I need you guys to complete. You'll see some links in there. Read up on it. Shouldn't take you too long to work on it, but just understand what those two organizations do and how they try and help people, right? So not only just youth, but adults as well. How do they try and make life better for Canadians? And the last one we're going to talk about today is the role of elders, right? So if you as a youth do something wrong, you break a rule, break a law, obviously you can go to court, you can go to judge, you can go to jury, you can go maybe the justice advocacy groups will step up and help you. But sometimes that fate can be decided by a committee of elders. People in the community who are older and respected. An elder is someone that the youth in that community should look up to and strive to be, right? So you see this a lot in smaller communities where, you know, a youth gets caught with something, caught doing something wrong, and the police officer will bring them and then into a room, and then groups will decide, like, okay, what are we going to do? What's a punishment that fits this crime? So instead of like hauling them off to jail or sending them into court, what are some things that we can do to try and help this person learn from their mistakes? You see this a lot too on reserves with Aboriginal elders trying to help youth, trying to give them a proper role model. But again, you see this really anywhere. Hopefully, you all have someone in your life, an elder in your life, that can help you if you ever make mistakes, right? I think it's all important for us to all have elders and that we should strive and look up to and try to be like. That's that today. Not a whole lot. Again, trying to stay on top of things. If you have any questions, drop me a line on the Google Classroom. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Yeah, stay on top of things. And if you have any questions, please make sure you drop me a line. Yeah, stay classy. See ya.